As athletes and lifters, wouldn't we just love if there was an exercise or a bunch of exercises that would stop us getting injured? Is what we're sold all over social media, where various exercises are given to quote unquote bulletproof a certain area of the body, or just essentially fix and make sure that you're not going to get injured again. Think of the common ones: knees, lower back, and shoulders. But unfortunately, there is no such thing as injury prevention. And when I mean prevention, I mean just not having injuries at all. You can reduce the risk of injury, but it's not done through XYZ exercise. This is the problem where a lot of, social media content gets it wrong. And I understand they're trying to bait the algorithm and bait people to engage in the content. It goes viral, their business blows up. I get it. It's a marketing play. But for coaches who have really been in the trenches and done it at a relatively high level, they understand that the injury, paradox isn't down to a certain exercise or something you're doing in the gym. It's a holistic approach. It's actually baked into a training program already. It's not something that you're adding into a program. So typically you'll see, at least within, you could say, sports that have very shit strength conditioning. So soccer would be a really good example of sports that generally have really poorly done strength conditioning training. And they'll often have standalone sessions that would be like an injury prevention session, quote unquote. And this would be standing on like unstable surfaces and kicking a ball, Bozo ball stuff. What else do these teams or players usually do? They usually get and then a bunch of like random low level band work, standing on one leg. And these are just all counted as quote unquote injury prevention for some reasons. And obviously you probably understand and know that this isn't going to do shit for an athlete. For example, balance. You can't train balance on a wobbly board or anything like that. Balance is innate to the sport or the skill you're doing. It's a coordinative, outcome that comes from doing an activity versus something that you train on an unstable surface. Then again, and that's even if it's going to do anything for injury being on a wobbly board anyway. So there are things that are done that probably really don't do anything. That there's no real overload in a lot of these quote unquote injury prevention sessions. Now, to really reduce the risk of injury, it comes down to a balancing act between what you're doing physically in training, what's happening outside of training and the sport. So family life, work stress, etc. And then the technical tactical side. And all of that is integrated together as one holistic training program. You can hear my little son in the background there. But it's all integrated together. And you'll have interplays between these as you go through, say, a training season. If you're just someone who likes to lift, get in shape, etc., you're a busy parent maybe, then it's a little different where you're just in the lifting and maybe not doing much other activity. But in that case, still, there are things you can do to help reduce your risk of injury, even in just those activities. For example, if you're just a lifter, one thing you can do is to have more exercise variety. If you're just doing the same squat, bench, deadlift, or other lifts with the same foot placement, the same grip width, etc., you can potentially start to have overuse injuries. When you start to use more variation, it becomes a little different where you're able to expand your movement library a bit and you're not doing the same movements over and over and over again. This is just one way you can start to reduce your risk of injury as just a lifter. For sporting athletes, it comes down to just managing total load. If you have a very heavy playing schedule, your strength conditioning is probably going to be pulled back a little. If you're in an off-season, pre-season period, you're probably going to have a little more weight towards your strength conditioning style training. Then there are things you can do within the session itself regarding exercise selection. Are you looking to increase muscle length through using eccentric overload or some kind of low muscle length isometrics? Do you have to increase muscle length through increased muscle fascicle length? That way you're increasing the angle in which you can reduce peak torque, potentially reducing your risk of injury if you get into funny positions at low muscle lengths where you have to produce a lot of force. These are some of the things that you can think about within your training. So within the training, you're looking to reduce risk of injury, but also as a holistic measure. Now, also just being generally stronger typically helps reduce your risk of injury as well. It also helps you handle higher workloads in training. So just being generally fit and strong is going to help you reduce your risk of injury. Balancing on wobble boards and doing other random low-level band stuff ain't going to cut it. So if you have any questions, put them down below. I'll answer them in the next video, and I'll see you there.